Go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fan View. Welcome to a brand new week, and we're here to talk about what we love the most, football. This week, so many things have happened, and you guys have always been saying you want a show with Jesse and Kate together, and they are here. So, Jesse, how are you doing, and how was your weekend?
I'm fine. My weekend was good. I enjoyed watching football this weekend.
You sure say your weekend?
They're good now, no Allah.
Okay, how are you doing? How was your weekend?
Yeah, I'm good. My weekend has been so much, because things didn't go the way I expected. But it's too good. Still top of the league.
Beat Southampton.
I beg. You know if you beat Man U too. If you beat Man U.
Did you beat Man U?
You guys calm down.
They beat you up and down the field.
There's another rivalry. There's another rivalry growing up in our midst, and which is GB and Zami, Liverpool.
Which rivalry? I know that
which is Master and Liverpool. I don't know if you can hear Zami now, but GB, you are here. So how are you doing? And how was your weekend?
My weekend was fine. I know you people just now.
You get pride. Shut the fuck up, Joe. You can't shit with that one.
Zami, can you hear us? Hello, Zami.
Typical Man U fan, Liverpool fan.
Okay. Zami, if you can hear us, please just. Zami, please can you mute your call?
Oh.
Okay, I'm muted Zami. So let's just move on. We're going to first start with what the game yesterday, Spurs versus Newcastle, and we're going to talk about, since we didn't meet after the weekdays match, we'll just brush to it and then we'll talk about the weekend's matches. So we're going to talk about Tottenham versus Newcastle. They lost 2-0 to United and they lost 2-1 to Newcastle. Okay, you've always been saying Spurs did not improve their starting 11. They're not as good as people think and everything. Do you think now people are starting to see that Spurs are not really as good as they are?
Well, like I've already said, the only reason I'm still going to bang on that point, and the fact is the only reason people are giving Tottenham a chance with the kind of players they have is because Conte is their coach. But seriously, Liverpool, when Tottenham they have their first 11 player, they have their 11 player fit. They are one of the best team in the league, no doubt. But the fact is, now that they just have, I think, one or two injury crisis and some not being in form, they've not been playing convincingly now. Their matches they have just been grinding on winning. And the fact is, that kind of performance is not going to get 2 points. It's not going to get 2 points all the time. So I don't know. I just feel like I said in the summer, they didn't improve on their first 11. And what I meant by them not improving in their first 11 is the fact that I don't think there's any of those players that the bots that are going to put now that Son is not performing now. I think that the bot players that improved their 11 by now, Son is not supposed to be starting almost all their matches because he's actually not playing anything. They're supposed to probably bring someone from their 11 or something. But no, they can't do anything. Richarlison has no good contribution in the Premier League this season. No good, not assist.
He does
no
now. He did. He does not play any good. Didn't he do for Kane, Nottingham Forest 2-0? He does.
Richarlison.
Yes, he was one that did the assist.
I read the stats somewhere now. Okay, probably they were talking about only goal then. Probably they were only talking about goal. But I'm sure he doesn't have any goal. And is that good enough? A player having just an assist all season in the Premier League, at least I think he has started up to 5 games or so. So starting 5 games and having just an assist in the league, that is we can all agree that is very, very poor. So I don't see. Richarlison is a very good player. I love him. Soma too. He's a very good player. But these guys are not an improvement. See Lenglet has not done it. I don't know who was talking about Lenglet. I think it was Muyo when I was saying they didn't buy anybody to improve their defense, I think it was more that I was telling you, but they bought Lenglet now. And I said Lenglet is not going to improve that defense in any way. And you can see it now. He has not done anything. Perisic is too old. Perisic is good with his crossing and all that. But bro, if you watch their match, teams always target that Perisic side because they know they always get passing. That is the fact. So I don't know. I feel like they didn't improve on their 11. And now that most of their players are having injuries and some are not consistent, it is affecting them. That is just it.
Okay, but then okay, still on that, you said they didn't have an improvement on. But then what I'm going to say is, what if someone should come and ask you and be like, if Richarlison at his best and Son at his best, is it really a drop? Is it really a drop off? Because if Richarlison was at his best, like you said, Son is not meant to be starting and Richarlison will be starting. Is that really a drop off, or because I don't get what you mean they don't have an improvement on.
Okay, what I mean by they not having an improvement, I'm still buying like fact is their main players are not performing and nothing is working for them. That is exactly what I'm like. You know, when see Liverpool, take Liverpool for instance now. Salah has been poor this season to some extent. And Diaz, I still count Diaz as a new player because they only bought in January. So I still count him as a new player. And Diaz has been balling before the injury happened. You know, even Nunes that we are abusing, even the guy is losing chance and all that. But bro, this guy is making defenders to at least be on their toes, even though at the end of the day he's going to lose the chance and all that. But he's making defenders be on their toes and all that. Bro, their match against me, for instance, now, Tottenham against me, bro. Literally, I can count up to like 3 phase of attack that Richarlison was the one that spoiled it. 3 different phase of attacks. That it was Richarlison, him making bad choice of pass, Son, the same thing also. Like, Man City is like our Oga, so I don't want to use them as a reference point. But let's talk about Madrid. Madrid selling Casemiro and Tchouameni taking it. You can't even know Madrid actually sold Casemiro because the Tchouameni that they bought he has already improved on the player they are even going to sell. And I didn't mean that Casemiro is in the team. I didn't know they didn't sell Casemiro to Man U. I'm very sure Casemiro will be the one starting the most. But anytime they are not going to use Casemiro, Tchouameni will still do the work he's supposed to do. That is what it means that, okay, yes, you improved on your squad. But no, I'm not sure Conte can say it. He can come out if any of his players will have injury now. Conte can just say, I just go to come and enter. You see, imagine Kane getting injured now. That is the end.
I think you're actually being too harsh because if you come to realization of it, this is Conte's first full season. And you can't expect Tottenham as a team that they are to splash 200 million like in Conte's first full season. I think you are being too harsh because if you come to realize,
like, see, the team is you guys are not. No, okay.
I think you're actually being very, very harsh because if you come to like this is Conte's first full season, and then he already has the Kulusevski, he already has the Richarlison, and then in his first full season, that's enough green lights to show that the Tottenham board is ready to work with him to get what he wants. But it's a crazy market, right? You cannot. It's very hard for you to get a world-class forward that can replace Son if Son is not in form and just slotting into the team, and you're not going to spend over 100 million. It's going to be very, very difficult. I don't want to know how you want to do it. If you want to,
you guys are not.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the expectations you are giving.
You guys are not. I'm not giving them any. You guys are not getting my point. I'm not saying they are supposed to sign like every summer. They are supposed to sign player that will be better than Son. What prompted these arguments during the summer transfer was when you guys were talking about how they did very fine business. I think someone even said they did better business than us now. And I'm saying like these guys didn't sign any player that is going to actually improve their 11. I'm not saying I think they signed, I'm not blaming.
To me, I think they signed players that is going to improve their 11. To me,
okay, let's assume that the season is still early. But the fact is, we've not seen. There's no sign that is showing that any of those players has improved their 11 anyway. The one match Bissouma played that he started this season against Man U, he was just there. Man U.
If you watch the Champions League, if you watch the game that Richarlison scored 2 goals in the Champions League, that's part of it, right?
I'm talking about
coming back to the Champions League after a while. Like you really
Bro,
have to put so many people.
I'm talking. See, sure, you know that the most clubs will always have different form from European competitions and their league. I don't even watch their Champions League matches. There's no way I will watch their Champions League. Wait, what you can wait and wait. But the fact is,
Yeah,
the
you
league
don't
matches
watch
I'm
Champions
watching.
League now because they are
I
not
don't
in
watch
Champions League.
Tottenham's. I watch Champions League.
Shit.
Don't even try to don't use that as a bant. That's not a banting material. Man U is not there also now. Why is Moyo laughing? That is not.
Moyo, why are you
that's not
laughing? No, it's funny.
I mean,
not there also now. Why are you laughing?
I was there last year, but can you remember how it sounds?
How what sounds?
How the
Of
Champions League
course,
happen?
problem.
How the
Of
Champions League
course,
happen?
problem.
I
Just
sabi.
wake up on
I
Thursday.
thought I watch other people match.
Of course,
mean,
problem.
Let's go back to what we were saying. I said I don't watch their Champions League matches because there's no way they are not even playing with any tough team in their league, so in their group. So there's no balls I will even show it here. And if I want to watch at home, I will watch only one match, and that will be the toughest match in the week. That's what I will watch. So
But the thing, wait, K.
the
The
league
thing that you
matches,
need to
the league matches. All I'm just saying is probably we just started the league. We've not even played up to half, so maybe those signings are still going to pop and all that. But let's be factual
It's
here.
just 11 games.
But what we are talking about here now is about we are not talking about the performance that we have next week now. We are talking about the performance they've already had right now.
Yeah, performance-wise.
We are going to be factual. Those guys have not improved. Tottenham's 11. That is just the fact.
wait, K. Wait.
Okay,
Wait.
Jesse.
Please, can you
Conte
Yeah,
did.
Wait, sorry, Jesse. Zami,
Hello?
you're welcome.
Can you hear me?
welcome. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
we can
welcome.
hear you.
We can hear you. You're welcome. I'll get to you very soon. And Jesse, just continue.
Okay, I was going to say that Conte did say that this is just the beginning of his process. He said it in one of his conference. Like, I think it was after the Newcastle loss.
Yes.
He said this is the
against
beginning
Man U.
of
I
like
think
the
it's
whole
against Man U or
process.
something. Yeah.
And like, it's not his fault that who would have predicted, because Son is not an injury-prone player, or Son is not the player that struggles to find form. So I don't think there's definitely have known that Son is not going to be performing at the beginning of the season. So I should sign somebody that is going to be better than him to replace him.
You can't even get someone that's better than him without
I
spending
agree.
Exactly.
All these the thing is, all these things you guys are saying is actually supporting my points. I'm not talking about Conte getting a player that's better than Son, or Conte getting a player that is better than Kane. All I'm just saying is the fact that these players, look at them, they've not actually helped this Tottenham team now that their players are not in form. That is what I'm just saying. They've not helped the team. You can't say, okay, this is what Richarlison has done to this team. This is what
Bissouma has done to this team.
That is what I'm talking about.
Why is it like Salah is not playing well, but yet it cannot be removed? There are like some key guys to your game that, as at 11 games into the season, you cannot yet put them out of the team.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
It's not
because
about.
Those are the guys that can win the game with their quality.
Okay.
My point is not.
Let me say this and end it. I think the game against Leicester showed us how good Son can be at any time. When he came off the bench and he scored an hat-trick. So like there are some players that no matter how good they are.
Everybody knows Son has this.
But then
him and all that. My
exactly.
point.
So I think there are two.
My point.
Wait.
No, I'm not.
Okay. But then I feel like Tottenham spent what they spent on this summer. They spent on having a good squad.
Like, good squad.
It might not be. Oh, okay. This one is to come and
replace
Son or replace Kane or anything. They just spent on having a good squad, and that is why they bought Richarlison, they bought Bissouma and everything. It might not be someone that is better than someone that's starting already.
Yes, exactly.
And also,
that is what I'm saying. That
these
guys
are not a bad market now.
I'm not talking. Sorry, Jesse. Wait. I'm not talking about them having a bad transfer window or anything. That is not what my argument is about, bro. Like, I believe they signed all these players to have squad depth because Tottenham has never had squad depth most of the time. But what made me talk about this in the first place was because people were talking about how the Tottenham finished third last season and now fourth last season, and the players they signed, they are probably going to fight for the title. That was the talks. That was what was happening.
No, we actually knew that they were not going to fight for the title now.
Mm-hmm.
No,
we all did say that.
People said it now. People are saying, that they will finish in the top 10 and all that.
But then, I still believe they can finish in the top 4 if they are not playing well. I'm
not even like me. I don't even believe in speculating about position teams to finish after 11 games. I don't believe in it because anything can change at any time. Like league can change in the last 5 matches. Anything can just happen. In as much as there's still a chance. All I'm just saying is that let's look at it. I'm not saying this guy is supposed to buy players that will be better than Son, better than Kane or anything. I'm not saying supposed to buy players that will come into his first level immediately. All I'm saying is that the players bought, they are not improving his squad in the sense that, okay, let me not say they are not improving his squad. They are not going to improve any player in the first level. Let me put it that way. Maybe probably because I'm talking about they are not. Maybe if I'm talking about them not improving the squad, you feel like they have a better bench now compared to last season, definitely. But what I'm saying is this guy isn't signed
That was
any
the whole
player
point.
that's going to like.
Okay, that was the whole point.
But then-
Having
but
a
then-
better
that
bench.
was the whole point.
This
But
argument because
guys,
I
if
think
you
that's the
remember,
point.
if you remember,
before we
wait,
close this
Moyo,
argument.
let me
Okay.
finish, please. Let me
Okay.
finish. Before, if you remember the argument we were having before I made this statement, it was about how I think it was Pelly. What was it, Moyo? I can't remember. They were talking about the fact that they have signed that Tottenham have signed Richarlison, they signed Perisic and all that, and that Arsenal only signed Dzeko, Jesus, that they are going to definitely finish ahead of Arsenal. They did better deal ahead of Arsenal, and I'm saying that out of this, what made me start is that I said that out of these players that Arsenal bought, at least 2-3, they are going to probably be a starting 11 player at the end of the day. But you can't see the same
players
thing.
from Man City.
You said
These two players that you bought them from a team that has won the league 3 times in 4
that
years.
even if I bought them from a team that has won World Cup 7, that if they are not good enough, that does not mean they are going to. Bro,
That's
if
what I'm
I
saying.
bought I gaze it from you or whatever his name is,
Okay.
that Southampton player.
Okay, look
He's not
at
going
your
to start.
transfer window.
Can we move on? Can we move
You are
on?
buying
Can
the
we-
finished articles now. Okay, Arsenal is actually
Richarlison at 24-25? Is it not a
Okay.
finished? Is not supposed to be a finished.
Not
Okay.
compared to Jesus.
Richarlison at 24. I'm asking you
now.
now. Richarlison at 24-25. Is not supposed to be a finished product.
Okay.
That's what I'm
Replace
asking.
who? Kane
If you
or
continue,
Son?
if you continue this argument,
Would you buy Jesus to replace Kane? You can't do that now.
Did they buy Jesus? They didn't buy Jesus now.
That's
They
what
bought
I'm saying.
Richarlison.
Because they bought people that
Because-
are not necessarily there to replace Kane and Son. They are there to
But just
complement.
agree the fact that the players they bought are not improving their
Can we-
first
can we-
level.
can we-
Like,
can-
They are in a
this
better
thing
position
is
than last
end.
season.
Bro, forget all those things. Guy, under Emery,
What is your definition of improvement?
bro, under Emery, I had my longest unbeaten run. And I've not had that run till now. And you can't tell me the players I had then
Where
that
is
they are better than
Tottenham
players
in
I
the
have
table?
now.
Are they in the top 4?
What
are
are
they
you
better
telling
than
me?
they were last season? If yes, then they are improving.
They were not last season.
yeah.
This time last season, they were actually in the top 3.
After 3 games, they were
This guy.
first. After 11 games, they were closer to the relegation zone. Go and check it. I'm pretty sure.
Which
Tottenham.
relegation zone?
Okay.
We thought
let's
they
move
were
on.
closer to that. They waited till January before sacking him.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
So
Can we
let's
move on?
Let's move on. We don't have time.
I
Let's
don't
move
believe
on.
what Kane
We'll
says.
continue
I
this.
believe Tottenham is in a better position than they were last season. I don't think anything can.
I'm
Well,
not talking
I'm
about
in
them
support
being in
of
better position or not.
GB, sir.
I'm
I'm in support
talking
of
about the
GB.
fact that I don't know, but me, I
Their
believe
bench have
the
been
players
Wait.
they improved.
Okay. Wait.
The players they
So
signed,
let me.
the players they signed, they are not improving their first. They've not
Let me-
improved
let
their
me-
first.
Wait,
That's
K.
what I'm saying.
Wait, K. The
Let me throw
quality.
this question.
Bro, we
out
are going
there.
to. We are the 11
GB.
games you are talking about. That is the only thing we have.
Wait, and
that
the
is what we are
quality
going to
of
use to
players
judge
they
them.
signed to their bench is good. They are not just
Can
performing.
I
right now.
wait? Can we move on?
But we are going to talk about the fact they are not performing right now. Yes,
They are
or
not
no?
informed,
like,
yes.
oh,
But they are,
We are going to talk
they are
about it
improved the
now.
squad, yeah.
Bro, we are going to talk about it. We are going to talk about the fact that they are not actually playing now. We are not going to talk about they will play well next season or they will play well next 5 games.
They are not
we are going to
playing
talk
well, but they are
about
getting
what
results.
they are playing
They are
now.
like top 4.
I'm not talking about the team, bro. I'm talking about the players they signed.
Okay.
Get this. I'm not talking about the team. I'm talking about the
So
players
you
they
expect
signed.
everybody
Bro,
you buy in a transfer window to perform at the same time?
Jesse,
That's silly now.
I'm not. See, just mention one of them that has been actually very, very important to Tottenham playing well. Not even very important. That has been important to Tottenham playing well.
Playing well.
Okay, that has been important to Tottenham winning the matches. Mention one of the players.
Can we move on?
You can't.
So you want
Because they did.
We spent over 20 minutes talking about Tottenham.
That is the facts now.
So you can't tell me that.
That is the
You can't tell
facts.
me that Kulusevski is not a new signing, right? Because he came in
said-
January. Because you recently said Luis Diaz came to Liverpool in January, so you're going to categorize him as a new signing. So that means we have to put Kulusevski under that same umbrella.
Kulusevski has been poor this season too now. Yes or no?
So Kulusevski has been poor before the injury.
Yes, now.
You're going to say that.
Bro, Kulusevski has not had. He had stats.
What?
Go on as an but bro, Kulusevski has not been having a
Yeah,
very good
no.
performance.
I think we should end this argument.
That is the fact now, bro. See, forget all these things.
Can we move on now?
At least I watched before Kulusevski gets injured. I watched like up to 2 or 3 of the matches.
Kulusevski was not playing well before he got injured.
There was nothing there. Moyo.
Yes.
Kulusevski. Did you watch any of his match before his injury?
Yeah, it was doing well now.
Was doing well. At a point, we were comparing him in terms of percentile. I was sending it to the group that time.
Yeah.
It was as high as Saka at the beginning of the season. At that point, yes.
At what point? I don't hear you, bro. No worry.
Are you kidding?
Let's move on. But I will still stand on the fact that the players they signed, they've not been an improvement to the first level.
Okay. So
let me expect everybody to do an Haaland.
Let me throw this.
I'm not talking about anybody doing an Haaland. You don't even need to even say that one.
Let me throw this question.
That kind of Haaland effect happens once in 10 years. So no even bother throw that one into the argument.
I don't think that point stands anyway.
Let me throw this question out there. Spurs and Arsenal. Who has better squad now?
What now?
Anybody else?
Arsenal, guys. Arsenal has been this team for how many transfer windows?
And you can't even compare him. I've been building my team for like 4 transfers.
That's my point, man.
You can't come, bro. See,
but then,
you are not getting my point. I'm not comparing. No, wait. I'm not comparing Arsenal squad with. I'm not expecting Conte to have the same kind of summer success with Arsenal. The fact is, if nobody talked about them having a better summer than Arsenal, I won't even talk about them. And what made me say this thing then was because when I was talking about these guys didn't make any improvements, and people were talking, he bought Lenglet. Lenglet is better than. So I think someone even said that Lenglet is better than Gabriel. He's better than White. He's going to have a better performance. Perisic is going to play better than Zinchenko. That is a seasoned professional.
I think
if it's not Pelly, that's the fact now. If Pelly was here, I think it was Pelly. I think it was Pelly. Or if he even be this Jesse, because now this guy they always did against my Arsenal. But I know someone here before I said anything. I was not the one that brought up Tottenham's summer business. Someone here talked about them having a better summer transfer window than Arsenal. That was why I said that.
I was actually I was the word. So
someone said it. That was why I said that was what started this whole argument. Like, bro, these people didn't even sign any player that's going to actually improve their squad compared to the players that Arsenal signed. That was the whole argument that day. And the fact is, I even said it then based on just the players they had. I don't believe any of those players and the reason why I say is because I don't even believe any of those players is going to break into the team because there's nobody there that's going to bench Son. Neither we did bench.
Okay. Emmanuel said Kulusevski was in mad form before the injury, and he said Arsenal has a better squad than Tottenham. So let's just move on.
Sorry, can I back up what K said? Actually,
wait, Zami.
That he said.
Zami, before you talk, just how you doing and talk. Just say how you are doing and everything.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm very good. Fine, thank you.
Okay. So what do you want to back you on?
Okay. The parts K said they actually haven't signed a squad to improve their current squad is very, very true. I mean, look at Arsenal.
That's just the fact.
Why are you comparing Tottenham to Arsenal after just one transfer window? What's the guy's problem?
Sorry? What do you say?
Why are you comparing Tottenham to Arsenal after this is Conte's first season? This is his first transfer window. Why are you comparing the two of them? It does not add up.
But GB.
Why are you talking about the squad? I'm not talking about the squad. Like, why is GB talking about hammering about faith? I'm not talking about the squad. I'm not concerned about what Conte has. I'm talking about the fact that their summer business didn't improve.
I'm telling you, like, you guys are too harsh. It's just 11 games. You cannot expect every player to come in and bang. It doesn't work that way.
If that means then there's no need to have any arguments. Then that means we are not supposed to even have any arguments because everybody's played. And then we don't. Then there's no even need to even have this channel because we are just 11 games in. Let's wait to have played 25 games before we create the channel.
Do you know what is surprising me the most is?
Why are we talking about it here?
What is surprising me the most is because I don't know what you are going to judge these players' performances by. Is it by how much they've played or how much the team is in a better place than they were last season? Because if you are going to judge by the place the team is,
if you want to judge by how if you want to judge with where they are now, then I will bring out you have just played the 11 game card also. What are you talking about? So
that means it works.
I can bring that up too.
Jesse.
I can bring that up too that I've just played 11 games.
But
That's
they
what
are
I'm saying.
better.
Okay,
Forget
okay.
forget about the 11
Comparison.
games. We are not
They
talking
are
about
better,
you.
right?
If you
They are
like,
better than
they should
last
have played.
season. That's fine.
If you like, they should have
I don't
played
think you have
just two
anything else to
games.
say.
The reason why we are making this argument is because we are here to talk about it.
Just
And the
say,
fact is, you throw it into anywhere.
Yeah.
These guys, the guys they signed, have not had any improvements on their squad.
okay,
Just let go.
let's just
I
end.
don't agree because
Let's
I don't know
end.
what you mean by improvement on the squad. The team is playing better than the way last season.
I don't hear you, bro. Let's move on.
Let's end this Tottenham argument. But before we end it, Jesse, I want you to answer because Antonio Conte has been in your club and everything, and GB is saying that it's just his first season, and Conte has come out to own up to say that this is the process and everything. Is Antonio Conte a manager that builds for the future? Is he a manager that just wins now? Because I don't think he has any record of building apart from just winning now. Like when he came to Chelsea, he won the league the first season. So what do you think is a manager for? Do you think he can be a manager that builds, or is a manager for now?
I think this matter is something that I cannot confidently say as of right now. But I think he has the potential to build because Chelsea even sacked him after his second season when he won the FA Cup as well. So he won that like trophies every season at Chelsea and still got sacked. So I won't 100% blame him. But I feel like each team that he goes to was a team that was already built very like to a level. So he just took them to a higher level, and then some things led to another, and then like it didn't work out. But I feel like with this Tottenham squad, like he's building the team from scratch because apart from like Kane and Son, their squad has not really been like the best in the league. So this is like a project that he's starting from scratch. So I feel like this would be the best exam to see his credentials, to see if he can like take a team and build them for the future.
Okay. GB, when you listen to K's argument on them not improving the squad as usual, and then we don't know if Conte is a manager that can build and everything. Just finally, do you think is him and Conte and Spurs would work better, or do you think it's just going to be a disaster?
I think with Conte right now, like the Spurs as a club entirely, like they sort of have to change the way their transfer window is being structured. Spurs don't actually go into transfer markets plunging cash on players, but when you have Conte, you actually have to do that to an extent. I mean, for the fact that Tottenham were able to like pay 60 million to get Richarlison from Everton, it shows a lot because coming from Everton is a relegation, like not Everton traditionally, but from the Everton of last season, I think they finished around 18th or something. And then it was very, very pivotal to the entire staying up in the league. And I feel it's just a very good up. It's just his first full season. He had a very, very wonderful January transfer window. Almost all the players he brought in actually helped Tottenham in the January transfer window. And now it's still early. So like there's still time. And I feel like if they're not playing so well and they are here right now how much more if their players now come back? That means they have so much potential. If their performances are not equal to their results and they are still able to be at this position that they are at the present moment. Now imagine, I don't like using ifs in football anyway, but if they can, if they are here right now based on their performances and the results, right? And it's like it's not meeting up because if you check the SG and all of that, but there is always a potential for Kane to get better. There's always potential for Son to come back to form, Kulusevski to get into the team, and then like it looks good. It actually looks good for Tottenham. Actually, to me, it does.
Okay. So from one club who is playing well and who is not playing well and still high on the table, and from one club to one club who is not playing well. I mean, who is playing well but not high on the table. Let's move to Liverpool. Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. Zami, this is good to start with you. What do you think is going wrong at Liverpool this season? Because it seems they beat Man City, the best team in the league, and they lost to the worst team in the league. So what do you think is wrong at Liverpool?
Yeah, I'm going to tag Saturday's defeat as the best team lost actually. I felt we did everything right in the match. The only thing that was lacking in the match was just the goals. Actually, I personally watched the match, and we did everything right. We had like almost 20 shots, and we have like over 5 shots on target in that match, and we're still unable to end up with a goal. So I just felt the zeal in those players were actually were lacking, and if not because of Alisson's superhero, would have actually considered more. So I just felt it was just zero, nothing really trust me. And I'm not really bothered actually because I feel it's Liverpool. At one point in time, we'll still get back on track. But I just hope it's not too late by the time we get back on track. But I'm not worried actually. I'm not worried a bit. It's just the zeal that was lacking, and obviously we're the better team. The goals are not just coming forth in that particular match. But why should we dwell on it? We have a Champions League match week, so we just take the positives from that match and we just put it on to the next match.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's always good to be this discussion of money is the reason why they're not doing well, especially when you hear Zami saying they played well, but they did score goals, which was easy for them for the past how many years, which has been easy for them for the past how many years. Um, about three of their players were injured, three of their strikers were injured. As for Liverpool fans, do you think it's okay to blame it on the injuries, or do you think there's something really going wrong at Liverpool at the moment?
Well, I feel like maybe they can actually blame it on because maybe they can actually blame it on the injury for that particular match. But at the same time, I feel like Klopp is already turning to a thinking bell, thinking. Because despite the fact that Arnold has been poor this season and all that, there's no way Milner is supposed to start ahead of Arnold. Even if Arnold is dead, there's no way Milner is supposed to start ahead of him. That old man is clueless, bro. Like there were so many instances of him just making bad choice of pass, cross, everything in that match. So I feel like Klopp is actually thinking too much too. Yes, they've had injury concerns. Nunes is already getting better with his play, and all of a sudden now he's injured. Thiago, ear infection. I don't even understand where that one is coming from. So they have been having a lot of odd injuries. So maybe they can blame it on injury. But at the same time, I think they have to check their coach also because the guy is making some, I don't know, some kind of decisions that has just been somehow. Because this guy started Milner and Henderson together in midfield before in the match. And I don't even understand the reasoning behind starting a 100 years old midfield against any team in the Premier League. How is it going to work? So I think the man is thinking too much, probably because of the form the team is in and is not used to it and all that. So, but they have a cause to actually blame their injury list also because their injury list is actually very long.
Jesse.
I'm sorry. Can
Okay.
I say
Okay.
something?
Okay.
Just to counter what Case said, I'm not an advocate. I'm not an advocate of using injuries as an excuse. Okay, I'm an advocate of using injuries as an excuse, but I don't think for that particular match I wouldn't blame injuries for that defeat because I feel that team that team started fine. We had our injuries, but those teams that team that clubs to put it's still good enough to win that match. They are still good enough. I mean, in that team, we had our highest goal scorer in that match. Firmino, he was there. Salah played, he was there. And we still lost the match. So I wouldn't blame him particular
I'm not supporting you to blame injury before. I'm just giving you the chance now.
No.
But the fact is, Nunes in that match, and Nunes in that match.
They said I didn't say anything. I felt that squad he actually put up was still good enough to win that match. So that's why
maybe they are still maybe they were good enough. That was why I talked about Klopp's decision also because I don't even understand why he started Milner in that match. Like I still don't understand it. Because if you watch the match very well, most of Nottingham Forest counter was actually from that side of the pitch. It was actually from Minal side. All their counter, not even most, all their counters was from there. Because once that man runs to the front and they collect the ball like this, that is the end. He's not going to get back until they've actually played the shots.
So
Okay,
you
so
know,
okay,
but you know,
Jesse,
that's how
this
the man
wait,
Jesse,
okay,
works.
Jesse.
okay. Let me
Arnold has always
Yeah.
had.
okay, let me say something.
Okay.
I
When
feel
he
that
starts,
first of all, I feel that yes, you can actually blame like injuries for that match because the fact of the matter is that the players you can say okay, Firmino is the highest goal scorer, but Firmino is not carrying ball from defense and going to go and score on his own. The players that are in form
Yeah.
that were playing around him were helping him to score those goals. Luis Diaz was helping him.
Yeah.
Then Jota
Luis
were
Diaz,
helping him.
Thiago,
The Thiago was
Jota,
helping
yeah.
him. Salah is out of form. Salah cannot help him do anything at that moment. So yes, you can actually say that okay. I mean, because you can't
even
have
when
three
we are, even
attackers.
when we're using our complete level, we're still struggling in some matches. If you know that. Even when Diaz was fit, when we're using Diaz, Nunez, Salah, we're still struggling. So what I just felt was we had like personally for me, we had a very poor window. Our inability to bring
I'm Liverpool, you man, Nick Beragagan. Me will just support you, just say you get
no,
injury,
we are
No,
say tell us story.
okay.
lying.
And apart from that, I feel that also Milner starting was not really Klopp overthinking because Arnold is not in form at the moment, and he played Milner against Man City and beat them.
Arnold that started, they would still target our right
Yeah,
side of
like
the
I was reading
He started Milner
an
against Man
article
City and
and it
beat
was
them.
like most
So
most attacks against the Liverpool has come from the right
always
hand
on
side.
the right
yeah,
part.
Whether
So
Arnold
even
or it's
if
Milner.
Trent Alexander-Arnold
And
had
now that is
started, they
just
would
it.
still
But I
target.
still feel like the reason why Milner worked against Man City was because Man City actually had most of the ball. So Milner was performing best. Milner is actually he is good defending more than attacking. So I feel like the fact that Liverpool were doing more of defending in that match, so it was easier for Milner to have a good performance.
but you
But
can't blame
in a match whereby
you can't blame Klopp for playing a winning team against Nottingham Forest that beat Man City.
And West Ham.
I'm
Yeah,
going to
and
blame
West
him.
Ham.
Me,
can't
I'm
blame
going to
him.
blame him because
Um,
I feel like in a match whereby Liverpool be the one running up and down, be the one running up and down. I feel like I just know like a 37-year-old Milner will not be the one to do that.
But
It
okay.
was when
Jesse.
Arnold entered. That was when Liverpool actually had most of their clear chances that Henderson kept catching. It was
Okay.
when Arnold entered. That was when they had most of their clear chances. That is just
Okay.
it.
Jesse.
yeah,
This Liverpool's form here. What do we blame it on? Do we blame it on? Because I bring it when I look at Liverpool, I bring it down to two problems. I feel they played a lot of games last season, and now they're getting burned out of it, and they did have a good transfer window. So what do you think? What do you think is the major cause of this form that we're seeing from Liverpool now?
I think that you got the 2 points right. Those are the two main points that are attacking them. But I feel like it's just the fact that they reached like the pinnacle last season of getting to every final, the end of every competition that they played in. So not winning that, like they only won the 2 cups that people really don't like.
Yeah.
I won't say they don't care about, but they were the less significant out of the 4. So I feel like when they did not win the Champions League and they did win the Premier League, they just like gassed out, and then now they are on the decline. And just like adding to the fact that Klopp did not strengthen the team properly. That's what I feel is causing them a lot of problems. So if for example, if the season was starting like regularly, not because we started earlier because of the World Cup, but I feel like if the season started regularly, like ending of August, or I think it's beginning of August, or when it normally starts, I feel like they could have been able to perform better than the way they are performing now. But they have not had the amount of rest that I feel that the squad needs to start gelling back again for the new season.
Yeah. GB, as a manager, yeah, there are going to be 2 questions thrown to you. As a manager, Pochettino said this on Monday Night Football for Sky Sports. He said when we got to the final against Liverpool, the next season, the players were not hungry for it again because they had the running starts, they had everything, they had the pressing starts, and they were not ready, they were not hungry for it again because they didn't win anything, they've not won anything, and it's very difficult to motivate a dressing room like that. But then when now that you look at Liverpool, you see the same problems affecting them because they got to to 3 finals, and they won the 2 cups that nobody really say, oh, this is a miracle cup and everything. How do you motivate that as a manager? Do you go out to buy more players, or do you go, oh, I trust these players and everything? And yeah, first of all, just answer that.
I think like when it comes to when you're managing a group of players like that, yeah, it happens. There is this mental fatigue and the fact that you came close but you're not able to win, right? But yeah, I mean it gets to affect you. It actually does. It actually, to be honest, I would actually agree with that part. I will agree less about the injuries in terms of the Nottingham Forest game. But I will agree to the fact that mental fatigue has somehow affected some of their key players, especially this season. And yeah, I mean, when you're a manager, it's just sort of those. So it's the challenge that comes with when you manage a team that is probably used to winning, you know. And the fact is, they still won 2 cups last season, even if they were not like the you know, not what they would have thought. Like, okay, fine, if we don't get to win, probably win the Premier League or win the Champions League, you know. And then we had to stick with the Carabao and the FA Cup, even purely based on penalties. It was like a toss of coin, you know. So like, yeah, it's at the same time. To be honest, I have to be like frank and harsh, but that's why you are being paid as a manager. You are being paid to get this group of players firing once again because the funny thing is, if your team doesn't play well the following season, they're not going to go and sack each of the players one after the other. They're going to sack the coach. That's just the frank truth. So it's about, yeah, it happens. There is this mental fatigue, and then the feeling of we came so close and we couldn't do it. But I mean, to be honest, I mean, the season before Liverpool won the league, they actually came so close. They lost the final day of the season, and then they came back full force the next season. I think the next season they probably won the first 15, 20 games of the season like that. I think they had about 99 points after they lost the game, after they lost the league, sorry, based on the points. So I wouldn't say like it's far from this Liverpool team to come back from defeat because they've actually lost the Champions League final before they got to win their Champions League final against Tottenham. They lost against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And so it's not something that's actually unusual with this Liverpool team if you actually think of it deeply about, you know, being able to come back from bad moments to perform better. So I think this season is more than that. There is the mental fatigue factor is part of it, but it's actually more than that. I think it's a matter of I feel one, it looks like what has been the winning formula is no longer working. The 4-3-3 that we've always been used with, and it came to a point in the season. I think Zami can testify to it, where Klopp had to like sort of switch things around, try to play a 4-2-3-1. Then Anderson and Thiago at the base of the midfield. I think he played it first against Rangers in the Champions League, the one that they won. What did they win in that match? Was it 3-something? Yeah, 3-0. So I think it's coming down to the fact that some of the things that have actually been working in the past are suddenly not working, and then there is this change to switch, and then when you are switching, and then at the same time injuries come in, that's another factor. And then you want to switch your information. You don't have the best players in the best position. You don't have your Luis Diaz. That's been fantastic. Firmino is not someone I personally thought was going to perform as well as he has done so far this season, but now he's here. Salah has been off as much, like I would say by standards, that's the word, has been off by standards. We know what Salah can do, and we know like the kind of outputs that we expect to see from Salah. So I think it's a combination of so many factors, and yeah, it's one thing. They don't find it that difficult to win when they're playing at Anfield, right? So if you notice, so far this season, I don't think they lost any game at Anfield. That's the funny thing. But it comes with this fact that when you are playing away from home, you have less of this home support, and then things can easily go against you very quickly. You can get to concede first, or you can get to try to score and score severally, and then you don't score, and then the opponent gets the chance and they score first, and then they have their home support with them. And then it's difficult for you to get yourself back into the game, you know? So like there are so many factors that are actually affecting Liverpool at this moment, and it's going to take something like it's going to, I don't know. I actually see like it's going to be quite tricky to get themselves out of this. Hopefully they do before it's too late.
Yeah. Jesse.
Yeah.
Liverpool, do you think they can finish top for this season, or you think this season might just be one of those seasons where they don't make it?
I think that Klopp has the caliber. He has what it takes to still qualify for the Champions League. Because the season where they were really bad, when they had a lot of injuries, they still found a way to get into the Champions League. So I think that he will be able to push the team and make them perform just enough to get into the top 4 positions.
Okay, Zami, last on Liverpool. How confident are you that Liverpool make it top
Sorry?
4? How confident are you that Liverpool make it top 4? And the January transfer video is coming now. What positions do you want to improve on?
Yeah, it's a very, very simple. There's a very simple answer to that question. It's just that midfield. Trust me. I'm not really concerned about our back line and our attack. It's just that midfield. So if Liverpool are able to like strengthen that midfield, even Otomelu that we bought in to just like as a cover for our midfield is out on long-term injury. So I feel as the January transfer window is coming, if you're able to like strengthen that midfield, at least bring one or two players in, and if you're able to get a run of games, if you're able to be consistent to the run of games we have, I feel it's Liverpool. Anything can happen when it comes to Liverpool. We all know that. So I'm just hopeful after the World Cup, if you're able to like win games on the stretch, I'm confident. Even if it's 4th position, we definitely make that top 4.
Okay. So from going to Liverpool, let's move to Man City quickly. GB. Can you hear me? Hello, GB. Same as GB.
Yeah,
So let's talk about Man City. Man City played who did we play against? Who did Man City play with?
Brighton.
Oh, yeah, Man City played Brighton, and I mean, Man City is the only one having a normal season, winning, Alan scoring as usual. I mean, you can just bet Alan to score this match, and he scores. Tell us what was so impressive about that match from City.
Nothing. Personally, aside from Alan scoring, Brighton were so good. Brighton were actually so good. I don't think it's one of those games I would say is one of our best games this season, actually. Because Brighton were actually so good, to be honest. Like, if you actually dip it and you check the stats after the match, Brighton really played so well. And I was really, really impressed. But I think after the 2-1, the goal by Trossard, the match like became incredibly difficult for Man City. And then I think that's where the money parts, where you're able to afford players that can change the game with single decision. I mean, KDB got the chance, and then from outside the box, bam, 3-1, and then that's where the game ended. So if KDB had not scored, I'm pretty sure like we would have found life very, very hard because we are under so much pressure. Brighton played absolutely fantastic, and then Alan scored first half. The first goal was as a result of Pep understanding that the approach was going to be different because it was after like 15 to 20 minutes, Brighton suddenly changed. Like they were not suddenly, they actually came with the plan of marking us man to man. So from our striker down to the midfielder to the defender supposed to call it even from Anderson, it was like man to man. And so we're finding it very, very difficult to play us from the back. And then Rebecca had this short injury. Pep called some of the players to the touchline. And I think explained like, okay, fine. Now we have man to one. Let's Bernardo Silva move closer to Rodri and then give Alan space to come deep. And then, there's a little bit space between that defensive midfield and between the midfield and that striker position. And then Alan was able to drop deep. And then Anderson being Anderson, because I think he's one of the best goalkeepers with the ball at his feet, was able to like get that space. Alan was able to run into it and then score. And then the penalty. So I really don't think it's one of those matches where we go saying, we performed excellent and all that. But it's a 3-1, it's 3 points, and yeah, that's it.
Okay. Kay, you're the one closer to Man City than anyone in the league. I mean, you're on top of them at the moment. But then, first of all, I want to ask you, the penalty, was it the penalty? And on the, Brighton, they gave Man City so many problems and everything. How good do you think Brighton can be this season?
Well, for the penalty, yes, it was a penalty. Like, it's kind of penalty whereby if the ref decided not to give it, there won't be any problem. But him giving it also There's no problem about it. It's like it's a penalty. It's just the choice. It just depends on what the ref is going to choose. It's a penalty. There's no what is it called about the decision. There's nothing wrong about the decision. And about Brighton, I feel like this is what Brighton has always been. This is the kind of club they are. This is how they play. They always suffocate you. They make you not play like you. Let me put it that way. They make sure you have to work hard for you to win against them. That is just the kind of thing they are. Brighton are the kind of team are just going to come and go. Even if you beat Brighton 5-0, bro, that 5-0 you are going to work hard. Like Brighton are the kind of team whereby you beat them 5-0 and they'll be very poor. That's why you want that 5-0. You probably want that 5-0 because you're able to take your chances. Because one thing Brighton also has, that team, they are so fucking wasteful. Like they are so wasteful and they are so unlucky. Because these guys can have 3 good work in a match. They are so unlucky, but they are very, very good. Brighton has always been this good, but their problem is that they are wasteful. I don't still see them finishing higher than, I think they finished 9th or 10th last season or something. I still don't see them finishing higher than that. They're just the team that I feel like they're just a very good striker away from actually fighting for the Conference League spots or something. Like Brighton, that is who they are. Like before the match, I was saying like Man City will probably win because this match is at Etihad, but I'm very sure they're going to find it hard. They're going to find it very, very hard, and they actually found it hard. Brighton were like GB said, if not for De Bruyne scoring that goal, that match can easily end as a 2-2 match, and there won't be anything to say about it. So that is who Brighton is. Brighton is going to give you the toughest time. I feel like they're the only team outside of the traditional top 6 that you can say you're going to have. You're going to have a very tough. Like no, for now, I feel like Newcastle are still not tested in a for a long stretch. They're still not tested for a long. Like Brighton has been doing this for like I think 3 seasons now. Any match they're playing against the top team, they are going to give you problem, no matter who you are.
as well.
And West Ham.
West Ham, I don't know. Maybe because I always find it easy to beat West Ham. I don't see West Ham as that. But like Brighton gives everybody, they give everybody in the league, they give them the same kind of problem. There's no team that will come outside and say I played Brighton and I found it easy. How you want to do them? So that is just it. Brighton, that is who they are. I feel like if they can get a very, very good striker in that team, they can actually start fighting for the Conference League spots, if not Europa League spots. So okay. They are very good. They are very good.
Okay, Jesse.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the club your manager is coming from now. We've not gotten to Chelsea yet, but then when you see Brighton play that type of football and everything, do you admire it and do you say, oh, okay, I can't wait this to be played at Chelsea too? And Trossard has been linked to Chelsea since Potter arrived and everything. Do you want him in your squad and stuff like that?
Okay. Yeah, I'm just hoping that eventually Potter can put his style of play into the players at Chelsea because he played very well at Brighton. And then you can see some little sparks in Chelsea because when his decision making during matches, like stuff that he does, yeah, you can see that he's actually starting to put his style of play into the players. So yeah, it's exciting to see what he can do. And as for the Trossard link, initially I was not really thinking about it, but if you can bring in the next Belgian that can come and play on the left wing for us, it's very nice.
See him mouth.
No Belgian for you.
You like good thing. No Belgian there for you.
Belgian was Lukaku and you
Lukaku your Belgian and you don't fuck up.
Don't worry, we don't want.
Zami, when you look at Man City and you look at the transfers they've made and everything, I know your manager has come out to say nobody can spend like the way Man City spends and everything and stuff like that. Do you get jealous of the amount Man City spends and how they spend that transfer window, or are you the same mindset with club that they shouldn't be allowed to spend the amount of money they spend sometimes?
Of course, if anyone would get jealous if they don't have master kind of owners. I mean, who would actually?
I can't hear you. Or it's just me.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
And him as well.
Yeah, I said, of course, why won't anyone get jealous for not having a rich Saudi owner? I mean, who would reject a Saudi owner from buying his or her club? But at the same time, it's other clubs actually feel cheated for not having rich owners. One way or the other, indirectly, they are like a step above us. I mean, there's nothing wrong in using your money to buy success, of course. And I think that's why we have FFP rules. But at the same time, it's not like Liverpool as a team also as a team we don't also have rich owners. We have rich owners, but I just feel the decision making in that club is just recent years has been so poor. But deep down, I of course I wouldn't say it's outside here, but deep down, I'm actually jealous that we don't have owners as rich as Man City.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
sorry. Let me say something. I think when it comes to this rich stuff, I think it's a matter of perspective, right? Because imagine how Brentford will be looking at Liverpool, for an example, and they're like, oh, these guys have rich owners and we don't have. I think it's a matter of perspective. But true, we've spent, I say it every time, we are an away club. Yes, happy, fine. But at the same time, you really have to play it out on the pitch because if you don't play it out on the pitch, then it comes to nothing, right? Because you can buy millions of players. I don't want to mention any club that has done that in recent times and they've not performed well. But everybody knows themselves as we are here. So you can spend a lot and still don't play well. So yeah.
Talk Nottingham Forest. Now Nottingham Forest buy 1 million player. We know they do anything.
Man yourself. Don't allow me talk man. I don't want to talk man. But
I be
man.
but I mean
just
the money comes
it's
from
my
the
neighbor.
fans.
It's my neighbor. It's my
Doesn't
neighbor.
come from our
Jesse.
owners. So and we have bad decision makers in our club. So
But you spent money. So like you can spend money and it doesn't make sense. That's just my point.
but then the reason why people have problem with Man City is because they don't have fans.
Who told you so?
Bro, you guys don't fill your stadium up.
Who told you so?
Okay, next time when we're playing Etihad, I will call you to show you how
See, do
empty
you know
your
what?
stadium
Do you
is.
know one thing? Open your
Bro.
phone. Open your phone leave am. Open your phone before the end of this meeting and check the average attendance last season by home stadiums and then talk after. Before the end of this meeting, just open your phone and check.
Bro, when the success you have.
Let's not talk about fans.
Exactly.
Man City will get fans.
Do you know something about Man City? Man City has a lot of local fans, like in England,
Everything
probably
everything.
But then your coach is begging your fans to come to the stadium.
Yes. He was criticizing them for not turning up for that particular championship.
He didn't say like we don't have enough fans. He said we want more fans.
Bro,
how is that?
Yes,
he said
yes.
he wants more fans. He wants more fans to turn up because what Leipzig versus Man City in Etihad?
It's a Champions League game for Christ's sake.
Bro, Europa League games we still turn up.
Are you going to compare Man City to Man U in terms of fans? Do you want to do that? Because
I'm just saying that that's the reason why people.
Because I don't see that as a point.
I'm just saying that's the reason why people complain about Man City spending more. That's what I'm saying.
Well, there's no point because if you spend,
there's no point
and you play well, then you are good. You guys spend, you don't play well, then you are poor. That's it.
Gonna say you guys.
This you don't turn personal attack. We should not see the same thing they talk.
Okay, GB. So GB, what's Man City for the title? Or I say a little bit scared of Arsenal. I know the.
No, I'm not scared of Arsenal.
Even me, I'm not scared on his behalf.
Okay,
I think Arsenal is going to make it. Hopefully. I'm just waiting to see what happens after the World Cup. I think a lot of things are good. A lot of dynamics are going to be changed after the World Cup. So, yeah. But personally, I'm not scared of Arsenal. So.
Okay, so let's move to Arsenal.
Now see finish with this show at the same time. Even though,
even though you will try.
But
you know what? Okay. You know what? If Arsenal win, then win. My apprentice.
No win. By the time just beat them, their body will calm down.
Okay, let's move to Arsenal. Arsenal versus Southampton. How was the performance from Arsenal?
Played well now. We just didn't take our chances, and the officiating was so poor. Like I had 3 clear penalties that the ref, for reason best known to him, decided that it is not that the 3 penalties are not penalties. So I played well. I like the fact is if I had taken my chances, though, like Jimmy said, I don't like using if in football to like if is a big commodity. But the fact is, apart from even taking my chances, if the ref had been performing better, like I mean, if any of you guys watch the match, you I'm very sure you know what I'm talking about. Like I had like 2 to 3 clear penalties. I had like 2 to 3 clear penalties.
If you want to take penalty,
if you had given me which one is take
cannot
penalty
score.
and no be penalty you use get your 1 point against Man U. See this
Are you not meant
games
to
wey
be
dey
top
come.
of the league? You're meant
If
to
I
be big
if I
leaguers.
not you
You
are
are
meant to
be big
be
leaguers. You cannot
be
even
fighting
score.
for
You have to
relegation,
take
abi?
penalty.
You are meant to be fighting for relegation. Are you meant to be fighting for relegation?
On the comments, Muski
What?
said Liverpool is dead.
Those ones. So, like as I was saying, I feel like I don't think I'll have anything to say about the performance because we played well, and Southampton too. They have always been like that against me. Like surprisingly, Southampton has been a team that I'm not always that confident when I want to play against them because those teams that particular team, they just find a way to just always, especially when I'm playing at that stadium, they always find a way to just make it very, very tough for me. So they have always been like, but like the fact is, I could have just been 3-0 off the first half easily. But the ref being very poor and Jesus was so poor in that match. Like he missed so many clear chances, like up to like 2 in that match. So I feel like since we're just he lost 2 clear chances now.
Okay,
One in
GB.
the first minute. He lost one in the first minute.
I know. Sorry.
And the second one, when Odegaard gave him one true pass like this, he lost that one too. So, like, those are the moments in football. That's just the fact. Those are the moments.
GB, you were complaining about. You're always saying Arsenal is a title contender.
Don't lie against me.
You're always saying they're a title contenders and everything, but then now you're saying you're not scared of them. What made you change your mind? And is it because of the Southampton game and how good of Southampton?
You can be a title contender and then you are second with like a gap of 9 points or 10 points. You are still a title contender. You are just not a serious one.
Which kind of title contender be that one?
No, serious one. But what I'm kidding anyway. I'm just saying it happens. It happens. I mean, that's why you don't get to have 100 and how many points in the season. You don't get to win everything. So you win some, you lose some, you draw some. But I think performance-wise, when you don't get to win some games, the thing that sort of gives you this sense of satisfaction is we played well, and then probably on a better day would have probably had better chances to.
Yeah, exactly. Any other day, I could have been like 4-0 up in that match easily.
So those are kind of the things. Those are the kind of the positives you take from there. Or like when you lose or you draw and then you don't play well.
And you're playing bad, yeah. I feel like the match is like 2 points lost, not 1 point gained. That is just it. Because easily that match easily I could have been 4-0 up in the first half.
Those are it.
That guy we resemble Kovacic. That guy they fight MMA. That guy was just hugging Jesus everywhere he went to. Like
I think there was a time too that Arsenal escaped with Leeds, right? There was a time that Arsenal escaped.
Yeah, but me escaping against Leeds was more of my defense being very, very strong.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
Not because the ref. No, I'm saying
let me say something.
Southampton. No, wait, let me finish. Southampton actually escaped because of bad officiating. That's all the fact. Because their defender is supposed to even get a red card. Because there was one boy, Ramsey give Jesus straight, and he's already punched the guy, and he's trying to take his shot, and this guy was just dragging him until he was on the floor. And VAR didn't even check. There was no check. There was nothing. The ref just waved on. And at the same time, at the beginning of the match, the commentator said something about that particular ref. He has never reffed any match he has never officiated any match that Southampton has lost ever. So maybe the guy is trying to keep his record or something. I don't know.
What I'm just trying to say is like the SG game, right? Like if a team is performing way above the SG at some particular point in the season, there is a time that it comes down, it later comes back to the mean. So you can be scoring, you can be scoring shots from outside. You can be, scoring lots of high value goals. And then at the point in the season, it's going to level up to be average.
No,
so
there will definitely be all these kind of performances.
Yeah,
definitely.
So it's like you have performances against a team like Leeds where you don't play well and you win, and then you have performances against a team like Southampton where you play well and you don't win. So that's how it happens.
Okay, Jesse, finally on you. Arsenal lost 2 points and everything. This is not a football question. I just want to look for trouble.
This is hard.
I just want to look for trouble. How good did it make you feel that Arsenal could drop points?
Well, it was not as satisfying as them not dropping 3 points. I would have been more happy if it was 3 points. But that's
you know why I like. Why I like this. I like this because he hates the undiluted. He no diluted hates.
I would have liked if you dropped all 3 points, but hopefully when you come to Stamford Bridge, it will show you what true football is.
Okay. How confident are you on the league? And I know you said top four is sure for you guys and everything, but then the league, is it slipping away, or are you still confident that your boys could show some fights? Are you okay?
Yeah. What do you say?
I said, how confident are you? I know the league is slipping away because Man City are at your back and everything, but I know you said top four is sure, but how confident are you that your boys can still show some fights in the league title race?
I don't know. I feel like them winning the title is overreaching. Like I'm not anything. This football, anything can happen. Like they can, as well as they can like just keep performing this way, and they might just be lucky and win the league. But I feel like it would be very unrealistic to expect the boys to actually win the title this season or anything. I feel like, and I feel that is what the coach will be telling them to. They will be more focused about sealing their place in the Champions League first. Then maybe after they've secured their fourth place finish, like top four finish, after they've secured their top four finish, and if they are still in the title race, then maybe they can now start thinking like, maybe this thing is possible. But I feel like right now the coach will be telling them to focus more on actually qualifying for Champions League before anything. So maybe, just maybe, after they've qualified for Champions League and they still, they still have the advantage of probably winning the league, maybe then they can now shift their attention to like, maybe I say this thing is possible, that kind of a thing. But I feel like for now, the target is still a top four finish. But I feel like they will still be hurting from what happened last season. So a top four finish will be the target. Then if by the time they've qualified for Champions League, there's still a chance to win the league, then maybe I can now start talking about the league then. But right now, I'm more concerned about actually qualifying for Champions League. That's just it.
Okay, Emmanuel said, GB be like, I need contenders to make it a little interesting for me, but I'm not scared of them.
A bastard BGB now. Get pride anyhow.
Okay, so let's move to the last game of Premier League. Chelsea versus Manchester United. Jesse, Chelsea versus Manchester United played on Saturday evening. How impressed were you with Chelsea? And you said it after the Manchester derby that a manager could change while the game is going on in the first half and everything. And Potter did that. And what do you think he changed? And what do you think he changed? And how significant was that change in the match?
First of all, I'll say that I did say this, and GB and KB, they were attacking me. I remember.
No, we're not.
Okay, no, it was Kid that was attacking me. It was Kid.
I was telling you there are like instances that if you try that, it's not going to like work. That was it.
And
I didn't say coaches don't do it. I just said there are sometimes that if you do it,
Jason wants to be right. I came running to you. Like, you're right.
But I told you, I said if you see something is clearly a problem, you can definitely change it.
I agree with that day. I think what I was just saying was like probably depending on the team and how severe the situation. But
that's what I said.
You're absolutely right.
That was what I said too. Like it depends, because if you do it against some teams, they are actually going to make the player you brought in. They will just make him lost because he's not used to the tempo.
But the game was still early.
It was early.
I think it changed
around
16 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But you're right, Jesse. Don't worry, you're right. Don't bother yourself. You're right.
Benny, you are not right, Concon. Why you going to concern me?
But you see Arsenal fans.
Baba, shut up. Just talk. Just don't make it
But
about
I
us.
felt
Just
that
talk.
Potter was seeing that Man U were pressing us a lot, and Chelsea did not have any space to break out from defense into attack. So he brought on his most press-resistant midfielder, the best in Premier League, in my opinion, Kovacic, which I was surprised I did not start. You guys can argue it, but when it comes to being press-resistant and
Bernardo
moving
Silva.
ball, Kovacic is one of the best. Okay,
Even
I won't say it's the
Gundogan.
best.
Even Gundogan.
I won't say it's the best, but it's one of the best.
One of the
It's
best. Good.
And then
One of the best. Agreed.
yeah. And he didn't still change
No,
the system.
I don't
You can
agree.
see
I
that.
just say talk am. I don't agree.
No, but you agree, he's one of the best.
I don't agree, bro. Now you
Just
talk.
continue. Just
I
continue.
don't know. But you could see that he still maintained his 3-back system. Only that Loftus-Cheek started playing right wing back, which was better because his physicality there was able to deal with Sancho when he was on, and also Bruno when he moved out to the
Sorry, let me
that
cut
side.
him, Jesse. Please, I beg. Let me cut him, please. Sancho does not need anybody dealing with him. He's dealing with himself. I beg. Just
he
move on.
played poor yesterday. He played poor yesterday. I'm sorry, on Saturday.
That's
That's true.
Which one is yesterday?
Just please, can you continue? Just please, can you continue?
I beg you.
But these are some of the things that.
Sancho. Can you please continue?
Okay, as I was saying, these are like I don't think Chelsea played the best football against United, but I liked how the Potter brought his adaptability, which I felt Tuchel was lacking a little bit. Tuchel just likes his system to be his system. You won't have if that was Tuchel would not have changed anything. He would have still maintained that same system throughout the game, and it probably costed us. But you could see that Jorginho is obviously not the best at being pressed like the way United were pressing us with their possession. So he was able to bring on Kovacic and he was able to change the game a bit. Even though, like, from both teams, I don't think the football was the best. Finishing was poor. But I felt that on the balance of the game, Chelsea were able to hold their own and even take out a draw, which we're lucky to get in that match. But I liked the adaptability of the coach. That was a positive that I took from that match. And you could see that lacking Rhys James, who is our main creator, he was able to adapt, still cope with that situation. And it's just like the beginning. I feel like it's just the beginning of a process. And to be like, as going forward, I think it will be better.
Okay. K. The penalty Chelsea considered was similar to the penalty that you were talking about from Jesus and everything. So the penalty against Chelsea. So you agreed to penalty.
Yeah, it is now. McTominay was very, very.
So
because I don't even know why you were doing that.
I know we've complained about Premier League refs not being consistent and everything. What do you think is the solution?
Yeah, I don't know. Seriously, I don't even know what the solution is because I feel like most of all these referees, they are probably very, very arrogant, proud. Like they probably just want to take correction. No, that is the fact now because this guy booked Saka yesterday for dive when he was clearly pushed. Like, I don't know, that guy's performance yesterday was very, very poor. But with Premier League referees, I feel like sometimes they want the game to flow. And because of them wanting the game to flow, they make some dubious decisions. I feel like he was probably yesterday, was thinking Jesus went down too easily and all that. But the fact is that is what football is about now. You can't expect me as a striker. The defender is pulling at me inside the box. I'm going to go down now because there is clearly a foul and it should clearly be a penalty. So I don't know. Maybe they should find a way to, probably readjust their rule, or probably they start letting us. Maybe they will put a chip inside this referee's brain so we know what they are thinking when they make some of their decisions. Because anytime, anywhere, all those fouls in Champions League, clear penalties. Even in La Liga, clear penalties. So I don't know. Premier League is very. I don't even know because I don't even know what to say again. Things has been going wrong for me for long, and this season I can't lie. I've actually enjoyed the decisions going for me also. So now it's very hard for me to complain because I've already enjoyed it too. But it is very tiring. It is very tiring. So
Just to
they just
add, I
find a
think
way.
that
Okay.
I think that the irregularity has already become part of the game. So a lot of
Yeah.
teams that can complain that a decision did not go their way. They have had a decision go their way before.
Or
So
just say,
Exactly.
or just say, is that the reason why
Exactly.
people will say? Is that why people will say they don't want VAR?
I get why, like, I think that's the reason why people will not want VAR. But at the end of the day, it's still helping us in
No,
like
but
some decisions.
VR is no, VR is very important too. Because bro, VR is very important because players in the Premier League are very, very, very corny. Like they can actually trick the ref and the lineman to like give very, very, very wrong decisions. So I feel like the VR is actually helping a lot. Look like take my match against Leeds for example now. The way Bamford fake like Gabriel has already put knife inside his neck like this. The way and when VR showed it, nothing happened easily. Now that is 2 points lost. I think that there was no VR. So please, VR is helping
Okay.
us.
GB. The match Man U versus Chelsea, was it a boring match or was it tactics cancelling out tactics, or was
I don't
it?
think it was tactics, cancelling out tactics. I think Man U were the better team in the first half. To be honest, I think Man U were the better team in the first half. I feel I think I really love the fact that Potter. I don't know, right from time I've always known Potter to be adaptable. I think I sent something to the group about something that relates to how we have several types of managers and we have the reactive ones and then we have ones that so Potter is one that is very reactive. Like if he sees something is wrong, he wants to tweak his team to adjust to that. There's this after the match review that on Amazon, Thomas Frank and Potter, they were
Yeah,
talking with themselves, and I think that's when he was asking Potter that why is it like his formation
like
is changing
changing.
so
Yeah,
quickly and all of that. And it's like they don't play the same system. It's just how it is. That's the sort of manager he is. Like you give me a problem, it's like every match is a different problem, right? You give me a problem, I readjust my team to solve the problem. So I think, yeah, before I brought in Kovacic, he was having issues playing out from the back through the midfield. The thing is, Chelsea will pass and pass and pass, and then there will be this long ball that goes to Aspilicueta, and he controls it right at the wing, and then it's like there's no inroad from Aspilicueta to go, and then he has to return it back to Kepa, and then that's it. But yeah, so he did that change, and then the game swung a little. I felt Antonio had a chance that could have scored. There's this chance he hits with his right foot. I felt he could have actually scored. But I think it's more of a game where Man U will go home feeling like, yeah, I think that's kind of performance that we should give. I think Man U will probably be the set of happier players because you could have lost it via a very silly, stupid, I don't know the word you want to quantify McTominay with, but yeah, they got out with a draw, and Kepa really tried to me. Kepa tried. I think Kepa did his best. He tried to prevent the goal, but funnily enough, it was the one that even put the ball inside.
yeah.
So yeah. I think it was boring, to be honest, somehow. And I really don't think it was tactics cancelling on each other. It's just funny. Look at it. The last 5 matches between Man U and Chelsea have ended in draws. So there's just something in that match that just makes it that way. I don't know. That's just how it is.
Okay. Jesse, on Chelsea now, as a Chelsea fan, what do you guys think about this process? Do you think, is a must mixed up for, or are you guys like United fans that you just want to see how this season goes, then wait for next season to see if you can keep on going and everything?
Yeah, I think that the man that they're put into in charge is who we have to like back. So I'm going to back the manager all through. And not just backing the manager. I think I'm starting to like the way Chelsea play now. We play more like better attacking football, I would say, than when we're under Tuchel. So you can see like there's an improvement. But it's all just a let's see how it goes type of situation. So we see how this season is not over. We still have a lot to achieve that we can achieve. I don't think the Premier League is over. If like it's for those who are willing to play their best football and win. So I think if Chelsea continue winning, we still have a shot at all the competitions that we're in this season. So there's still a
I
lot to
think
go
I think
for.
you guys are actually in a very good, like, positive vibe right now because if you are not
Yeah.
actually, I feel like Potter has not even gotten to the stage where the team can actually digest what he wants because, like, there are so many games after each other. Today, next 3 days, another 3 days, and it's
Yeah.
hard for you to get these instructions to your players. And yet, you guys are still like winning. I think that was like, has he lost so far? I think no.
That's not lost.
I don't think he has lost. And so if in this sort of short period, you're still able to like grind out wins, try to play. So imagine when you have that time. So I think
Yeah.
Chelsea are actually in a good spot.
Yeah. And then we see how like players are not fit yet.
And Kante
Injuries.
absolutely makes a difference to that
Yeah.
team.
And Aubameyang is not fully fit, all those kind of things. So there's just a lot of things that we see
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
we
So
are
you're
still
still
hoping for.
yeah.
And we hope that like when it all comes together, it will be like explosive football I will enjoy.
Nothing like explosive.
GB on United, what do you think? Like, I mean, we've seen some improvements in it and everything. So, for United fans, what advice would you
First,
give them?
I think this is an improvement. To me, right? I feel you're getting there. It's still early. Like it's funny sometimes when for some things we are saying it's early, for some things we are saying, but they have played so. Yeah, I mean, I think one thing about Man U this season is I've observed that they probably wouldn't find it so hard to play against some of these top teams, right? Because when you play against other top teams, you have more space to run into. There is the other team are probably going to play a high line as yourself because they believe they're a top team themselves. So you're not going to expect you want to play Chelsea and then you want Chelsea to sit deep and wait for you, soak up pressure. No, they're going to give you space to run into. And then Man U thrives on space right from time. So I think like there are still Ten Hag is gradually building his team, but there are still some imprints of OGS in that team. That's counter-attacking, swag-bushling style. So like there are still some instinct of that stuff inside. But like I said, I think it's very similar to Potter, right? Like there is time. There is time. Potter himself has not even had the transfer window of himself. He's working with the players that Tuchel managed to bring in. So like he's still working with those players. And then even though Ten Hag has brought in some of the players he wants, but when you look at that team, you still feel on a good day, I really don't think McTominay should come in off the bench when we are trying to look for a win. Also, when we're playing 0-0, if Ten Hag has his way, I don't think McTominay will want to be the option he's bringing in. So there is a massive room for improvement. And I mean, what position are you on the table right now? You're way off better than where it was looking at like after 2 games. But there is this injury to Varane right now, and it's looking bad. And then yeah, shout out to Luke Shaw anyway. I think is actually everybody knows Luke Shaw is good. I don't know. It just seems weird, but it looks like it's the one that is inhibiting himself. Like
when you see the new left back in the club, I don't know. It's like he goes and gets his personal trainer, and it's like, let's work. We have to work.
maybe because I think that was what happened when Alex Telles came.
Yeah.
And now, yeah. So maybe you guys should buy like 3 left backs.
Okay. So you're finished. What position do you think United? Do you think United can still make top 4 or Europa League?
Honestly,
What do you think?
I think it's still a matter of telling my United fans like, please don't jump into the dreamland. Like this team that probably won against Liverpool and Arsenal can also lose to Brentford and Brighton. Like it's happened so far this season. So there is this how would I say it? What's that word? Imbalance, right? That is actually in Man U at the moment. And yeah, when it comes to the top 4, you actually have to have some sort of balance. So it's quite difficult for me to say exactly. But I will still tip Chelsea to finish ahead of them. That's what I'll do. That's what I'll say.
Okay. So I think we've come to the end of this show. And you guys have Man City, Dortmund tomorrow, and Chelsea. Your score predictions, Jesse. Okay, Jimmy, go first.
I don't know. We've qualified already, so I don't know. Maybe a draw. Maybe.
Jesse, do you think Chelsea will win Salzburg? I mean, the Salzburg beat you guys in the first leg.
No, we drew.
Oh, okay.
And it was an Aspilicueta mistake that made us draw. Well, I think that we should have enough to beat them. So, because that was Potter's first game in charge of Chelsea, and he was still able to get the draw, and it was a convincing performance. So I just think that we'll be able to beat them well enough to get through that match and qualify out of the group stage.
Okay. Last two questions for both of you. GB, Ajax, Liverpool. What do you think?
I think Liverpool is going to beat Ajax. I think Liverpool, when it comes to cup games, the way Liverpool is set up, they might probably find it easier to play well in the Champions League. And Ajax is not Ajax in the Champions League at the present moment. They've been tossed right, left, middle, and center. So everywhere. So yeah, Liverpool win for me. If it's at Liverpool's home, Liverpool's win definitely.
Yeah, I think it is at Ajax house.
At Ajax house, okay. Maybe worst still a draw. Like worst case scenario for me.
I mean, they don't have Ten Hag again, so Jesse, Barcelona versus Bayern.
Definitely, I still think that Barcelona will try to beat Bayern to qualify out, but Bayern will beat them definitely.
Why are you
even
like
even though Bayern don't play their like official starting 11, I think they'll still have enough to beat Barca. Barca are not like I would say they are still in their rebuild and they are still at the beginning phases because their performances have not even been 100% convincing, except if they are playing in La Liga against a team that are bad as well. So I think that Bayern will be able to beat them again.
Okay.
But I back them in Europa League. I think they will play well in Europa League.
How would they play well in Europa League? What kind of sarcasm is that?
Okay, before we move on, before we close the channel, I think there's something we have to say on this channel because we've not spoken about it. We all know what happened with Cristiano Ronaldo leaving it before I guess Tottenham and everything. What do you think should be your solution? What do you think the solution should be about Cristiano Ronaldo? Do you think it's time for him to go, or is there a way back for him to the team? And Jesse, I want to get your opinion and GB your opinion too. So who wants to go first?
Okay, let me start. I think that I would love for Ronaldo to be able to get back into the United first 11 because you can still see that he can still score goals. Like in matches like Saturday, he could have been the difference to score early for United with the chances that they were creating. But realistically, I don't think Ten Hag wants a personality that feels that he can do what he wants or after what he did against Tottenham. But so I think that Ronaldo will probably part ways with United, but it will not be before the World Cup. You definitely stay in the club, train with them, and still prepare for the World Cup. But after that, I think he will leave United, maybe in January.
Okay, JB.
Yeah, I think like my opinion is very similar to Jesse's. The only thing is, as much like when you play Ronaldo, it's going to give you goals. Like that's it for sure. But like there's this little bit of a trade-off between Ronaldo scoring goals and then you being able to play some like aspects in your game. Personally, I think if Ronaldo had started against Chelsea, there would be no need for Potter to make such a change that he made because the fact that Man U were able to press Chelsea that way actually could force Potter to make those, because if you have Ronaldo, to be honest, as good as he is, he's never, even when he was young, he's never been one that is known for his presence. Ronaldo is not the kind of player to run around and he's not like that. And that's fine because when you have someone that offers you that amount of goals in return, sometimes you just have to say, okay, fine, you can't press this much, but you can give me 40 goals in a season. I will take that. But now it's a little bit different, right? Now it's a little bit different because now it's more of a team same thing. And with the fact that he has already messed up a little, I think he still has his place in the team. After he's going to be in the squad for the Europa League match, I'm pretty sure. And then maybe he's not going to be in the first team, maybe. But till he decides to leave, which I think might be January myself, I think he will have to. So I'm sorry to say, he might just have to accept the fact that he is not going to be in Ten Hag's first 11 plans. To be honest.
Okay. Before we go, okay, what club do you think he'll go to?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I think if Roma probably enters, I think probably the person that can come to mind is Roma. I don't know.
I think he's going to go back to Sporting. because they have the potential to win their league, and he's going to definitely score goals there, and they're still in the Champions League. So I think that's the move that he will probably eye up. And it'll be after the World Cup. I just think all this Ronaldo deciding to stay United is just because he wants to be in the best of form for him to enter into the World Cup. And I think that maybe he feels that the challenge in the Portuguese league will not be as tasking on him as the Premier League. So he wanted to stay and then play the highest football so he can be at peak performance. So I just think after the World Cup, everything will have died down. He's probably not going to play another World Cup. So he'll just go to Sporting maybe, so because he can still get Champions League.
Well, I mean, he's planning for the next Euros.
I don't think Ronaldo can play up to that time because he's still our goat, but the body is not a machine. He's still a human being. The body will get old. So
okay, thank you for everyone for watching. We've come to the end of our channel, our episode of our today's episode. Jesse, any sign off and any advice to Chelsea fans?
I'm just going to say that we should just hope and pray that our manager can come through for us.
Hope and pray.
We should hope and pray. Yeah, you need to hope and pray. And also, there are still a lot of things that we can achieve this season. So we should not just believe that the season is over yet.
Okay, GB, any
to Man City fans that they don't exist, Abby.
Any sign of and any advice?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's funny that anytime we have here, there has to be argument. It's something that we can avoid. Yeah, so it's something that makes it different. Well, yeah, it's fun, it's exciting, nice to talk about football and everything that comes with it. And I think this Champions League this week is not something that might be the most exciting because a lot of teams have actually known that they're going to qualify. I think you should probably get to watch Bayern beat Barca because I'm a Barca fan in La Liga, but still, it's like Bayern just win. I don't know how they want to do. They just win, But yeah, it's nice to be here and talk about it. So thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming and see you very soon. Goodbye.
Ciao.